Not Anderson, but the where Mayor Pete's from.
Indianapolis?
No, the consultancy. The consultancy.
Oh, McKinsey.
McKinsey, yeah. They did a big white paper. And my advice was, don't do it.
What has McKinsey got to do with the price of bread when it comes to podcasting, when they have somebody who actually invented the whole thing, like you, for example? Just ask, and you probably would have given it away.
Well, they called me, McKinsey called me and said, well, they had all these questions. I said, this is a dumb idea. Stay out of podcasting. You only screw it up. And
you should have said, instead of that, you should have said, well, my fee is...
No, I wanted to warn them. And they promised me a copy of the report, which they never gave me. So McKinsey are liars.
Oh.
Yeah, they're liars. It's horrible. They're liars.
Unbelievable that happened.
Liars. Yeah. Gee, I wonder why that happened. No, I said, don't do this. This is stupid. And they spent $1 billion and didn't work. There you go. That's how it goes. Obviously, they try to do an advertising play, as we say in the business. We've got an advertising play. Well, how did that work out? It didn't. They got all the big names, like Michelle Obama and the Kardashians and Meghan Markle and Harry, and it failed. Because no one cares. They're not podcasters. It's just celebrities doing an MP3 trying to get some ad money. And then they couldn't even fulfill it. They had to open it up and put it on all the podcast apps. And people always say, it's so smart that you guys didn't go with advertising because, you can't get the platform. And I just want to be honest about it. The real honest reason. Because we weren't thinking about deplatforming in 2007. We weren't thinking about that.
No, because it wasn't a thing.
I think brand safety was already kind of bubbling under. There was some talk about it, that term specifically.
Yeah, but it wasn't like it was once they deplatformed Alex Jones. They made a big fuss and they started throwing people off the air.
No.
You're out.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. The reason why we didn't want to have an advertising model in the beginning was because we didn't want to have any meetings with advertisers. Do you know how tedious that is? That
was the main thing you said, or you had actually more lewd ways of putting it.
I did. We don't want to talk to those guys. It's tedious. It's horrible. You have to have meetings, and then listen. We didn't really quite like your read on that last show. You didn't really punch it home. And
okay, so I believe Adam is talking about Spotify has not been financially successful, despite payments of their CEO and their payments of Galaxy 500 streaming royalty rate every quarter of like 27 cents for Tugboat being played like 5,000 times. I didn't catch the beginning. I didn't record the beginning. I'll confirm it retroactively, and I'll confirm it before this podcast even comes out. It's a live stream. I'll confirm it with headline. And what I will say is, I slow down. You can't be too careful around here in terms of speeding tickets. Spotify didn't work out, and then John and Adam didn't want to have advertising meetings, and Adam had a lewd way of putting it that John remembers. John's funny, and Adam said it was tedious, or he said tedious, and it made me think of tedium, and that guy, that fucking funny jerk who was like making fun of Mcluhan in the Tedium is the Message article, which I referenced in the movie, obviously. It made me think of that, which is funny because really, if the consulting firm that did the white paper for Spotify as to whether or not to include advertising consulted him, that really is his Marshall McLuhan moment, has been known, which McLuhan would love as a pun because of his fondness and everyone's fondness for the expressive functionality of invoking the process phenomenon known as pun. McLuhan is a pun where it's a Marshall McLuhan moment, so it's moderately divorced from the source, which is fine because the source was unimaginative. It was literally the comedian's construct of using puns, introducing them metaphorically, and then introducing a layer of confusion on the same word when fashioned within the anecdote in a literal context. So the comedian will introduce it metaphorically, whatever the word is, and I'm not providing an example because what I do, which this guy Clinton described my movie editing as parsimony, which is a hilarious term once I finally understood what I believe he meant, which is essentially that I'm not getting in the way. Now, the better, simply because it is a single word, for this concept, percept, is outlet, O-U-D-L-E-X, mentioned in the McLuhan James Joyce Trivial and Quadrivial article from 1963. That word is used there. I don't remember where I read it from because I do own that, at least at Fusion, but I may have seen it somewhere else, maybe a reference to that. But it means the artist's role is get out of the way of the idea. Now that's, great because it's a lot of acoustic process in its meaning. The moment it's colored with speech, you're not too far from the magic line embodying and coloring thought, the mystic Kierkegaard arise of painting speech speak to eyes. Why do the eyes know what the meaning of the lines are? What an idea like that invokes in the word outlet. And so I think of Andy Letterman and Mark Norman being the people that you could refer to for agreement on my thesis that the comedian introduces a word metaphorically and then comedy arises in the structure of the story when the metaphorical is taken literally. All human scale, and it all has to be resolved where joke and truth lie, and that's why you know they're there, because the word lie follows truth in another context, even though it's even spelled the same way. You know the truth lies here because